Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled The Night College Football Sold Out. There used to be a feeling to college football. Nebraska felt invincible. The Big Ten felt cold. The Pac-10 felt glamorous. And Saturdays felt local. But according to one alternate history, college football stopped belonging to the regions years earlier than we thought. And strangely enough, it happened because four programs became trapped in the same collision course: Nebraska, Michigan State, Purdue, and USC. One protected the past, one ignored the future, one tried to survive the changing sport, and one realized television was about to consume everything. But the strangest part, a lot of this almost feels like it could have happened. And by the end of this video, Nick Saban will receive a phone call that almost changes the next 20 years of college football forever. But first, let's set the table for the decision. This timeline splits from reality in late 1997. In real life, Tom Osborne retired after Nebraska's championship season. But not here, because in this alternate history, TV executives quietly panic. Nebraska wasn't just winning, they drew massive national ratings. Executives believe Nebraska represented stability, tradition, dependable audiences, and real football. So ABC and ESPN quietly pressure Nebraska leadership to convince Osborne to stay a little longer. Not forever, just long enough to stabilize the transition. And that one decision changes everything, because when Osborne delays retirement, the coaching carousel changes nationwide, which means Michigan State keeps investing in Saban, USC delays its rebuild, and TV executives become even more aggressive chasing national brands. At the time, nobody realizes the sport is already changing underneath them. And that sets the table for the future Purdue ignored. At Purdue, a quarterback is becoming something college football barely understands yet. Drew Brees, fast reads, precision passing, modern offense. But in this alternate history, Purdue leadership becomes nervous about where football is heading. Too much passing, too much attention on quarterbacks, too much NFL influence, and Purdue hesitates. That hesitation becomes catastrophic because another coach is studying all of this very carefully, Nick Saban. At Michigan State, Saban recognizes something before most coaches do. TV is changing recruiting. Quarterbacks matter now. Style matters now. And Michigan State cannot survive by pretending football is still regional. So in this universe, Michigan State aggressively pursues Drew Brees after internal instability at Purdue. Eventually, Brees transfers. The Midwest reaction is loud. Purdue fans feel betrayed. Michigan fans are furious. And suddenly, Michigan State becomes one of the largest TV draws in the country. But while Michigan State was building the future on the field, TV executives were building something much larger off it. And that sets the table for the Saturday night contract. By 1999, ESPN and ABC quietly experiment with a radical idea. Not regional broadcasts, national showcase football. Executives identify four TV brands: Nebraska, Michigan State, Purdue, and USC. Internally, they call it the Saturday night contract. And this is where this universe begins feeling very uncomfortable. Kickoff times move later, commercial breaks grow longer, and traditional rivalries get flexed around TV windows. And TV executives begin pushing something fans absolutely do not like: intersection showcase games. Big Ten versus Pac-10, Coast versus Midwest, style versus tradition, which leads to the game that defines this entire universe: Michigan State versus USC. A late season, regular season game many fans immediately describe as made for TV football. A lot of fans don't like it, but ABC executives absolutely love it because the ratings projections are enormous. And honestly, they're right. And ironically, the coach who best understands the future best isn't even coaching in college yet in this alternate timeline. And that sets the table for Pete Carroll's lost year. In real life, Pete Carroll spent 2000 out of coaching after leaving the Patriots. In this alternate history, that year becomes legendary because while fans think Carroll's disappeared, quietly studying college football's transformation, TV branding, recruiting psychology, entertainment value, audience emotion. And according to this alternate history, Carroll reaches one terrifying conclusion. College football is becoming entertainment before anyone realizes it. Meanwhile, USC becomes obsessed with national relevance again. Boosters fear becoming irrelevant. Executives want glamour, and television wants brands. And after years of instability, USC leadership quietly decides the next coach must understand TV as much as they understand football. But before Pete Carroll even arrives, the sport reaches its breaking point. And after one game in East Lansing, Nick Saban receives two phone calls. And that sets the table for the blackout game. November 2000, prime time, ABC's highest rated regular season game projection ever. Michigan State versus USC. By now, Michigan State's become terrifying. Saban's defenses are brutal. Brees has become one of TV's largest stars. Meanwhile, USC represents the exact opposite philosophy: style, speed, celebrity, and spectacle. Hours before kickoff, Nebraska realignment rumors leak. TV analysts debate whether tradition still matters. Fans rage about the sport becoming corporate. Then the storm arrives. Rain pounds Spartan Stadium. Power flickers. Part of the stadium loses lighting. Generators activate, and somehow the game continues. The visuals become surreal. Drew Brees muddy. Nick Saban screaming at officials. USC looking almost perfectly built for TV chaos. Then comes the line that defines this alternate universe. I don't know if we're watching the future of college football or the end of it. The ratings become historic. TV executives celebrate, and older fans across the country quietly feel something slipping away. Michigan State wins, but almost nobody remembers the score. They remember the feeling, and that sets the table for the phone calls. After the blackout game, college football changes fast. TV money increases. Conference instability accelerates. Branding becomes everything. And then Nick Saban receives two phone calls, one from LSU, and in this alternate history, the second one's from Nebraska. One program represented the future of recruiting geography and TV power. The other represented the old dynasty trying desperately to survive a changing sport. For a moment, Nebraska almost hires Nick Saban. And if that happens, the next 20 years of college football may look completely different. But Saban declines because in this universe, he realizes something before almost anyone else. Nebraska no longer fits where the sport is heading, so he chooses LSU similar to how he did in real life. USC still hires Pete Carroll months later in this universe. Or maybe on one rainy night in East Lansing, the sport crossed a line it could never uncross. Now, if you enjoyed this college football alternate history, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because somewhere out there, there's another college football universe waiting to collapse. And I will see you in the next timeline.